Hi everyone, it's Shuganya, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics from Madurai Sivagasinada Pioneer Meenakshi Women's College. Here we are see about the topic for mechanics. From this mechanics, we are consider only two terms. First one is center of gravity and another one is friction. First of all, we know that what is mean by mechanics. Mechanics is a branch of physics dealing with the study of motion. There are two subdisciplines, classical fields and quantum fields. Here we are see only in the classical mechanics. First of all, we are see the center of gravity. At first, the center of gravity of a body is the point at which the resultant of the weight of all the particles of a body acts. Whatever may be the orientation of a body, the total weight of the body may be supposed to act at its center of gravity. If we consider the particles A, B, C, and so on, of a body have masses m1, m2, m3, and so on. Let their coordinates in the rectangular Cartesian coordinate system be x1, x1, y1 is z1, and x2, y2 is z2, and the nth term is xn, yn is zn. Then the coordinates of the center of gravity is g of the body are x bar is equal to summation over mn xn divided by summation over mn, and y bar is equal to summation over mn yn divided by summation over mn, and the z bar is equal to summation over mn zn divided by summation over mn. If suppose an element p of the body has a mass dm and its coordinates are x, y, and z, then x bar is equal to integral of x dm divided by integral dm. That values must be is equal to 1 by m integral of x into dm. Here m is denoted as the total mass of the body and its value is integral of dm. Let's come. We are calculate the center of gravity of a right solid cone. Let A, B, C represented as a solid cone of height h and semi-vertical angle alpha. The cone may be considered to be made up of a large number of circular discs parallel to the base. The center of gravity of each disc lies at its center. Therefore, the center of gravity of the cone should lie along the axis AD of the cone. If we consider a disk B1C1, let us see the diagram. B1C1 of thickness is dy at the distance y below the vertex A. If small r is called as the radius of the disk, then r is equal to y tan alpha. Here the volume of the disk is equal to area into thickness, so that values must be equal to pi into y square tan square alpha into dy. The mass of the disk is equal to dm, so that value is equal to pi y square rho tan square alpha into dy. Well, rho is the density, we know that. The distance of the center of gravity of the cone from the vertex is given by y bar is equal to integral of y dm divided by integral of dm. We know that the equation, that is, we know that the formula by the applying of center of gravity's equation, we can easily calculate the value for center of gravity of a right solid cone. So by applying these values, we can get the value for center of gravity is 3 by 4 into h. In this similar manner, we can easily calculate the center of gravity of a right circular cone, spherical, solid hemisphere, and hollow hemisphere, blah blah. Next, we are see about our next topic is friction. First, we are know what is mean by friction. Friction is a force between two surfaces that are sliding or trying to slide across each other. Suppose we push a book along a table, giving it some velocity. After we release it, it slows down and finally stops. This indicates that a force is opposing the motion. Whenever one surface moves in contact with another, a force is generated that tends to retard the motion. This force is called friction. There are four types of frictions of press-on. The first one is static friction, second one is dynamic friction, third one is rolling friction, and the last one is limiting friction. First of all, we know that what is mean by static friction. The frictional forces acting between the surfaces at rest with respect to each other are called forces of static friction. Then, then we are see about the dynamic friction. It is also called as a kinetic friction. The force acting between the surfaces in relative motion are called kinetic friction or dynamic friction. The third part is limiting friction. The maximum value of the frictional force between two bodies in contact is called limiting friction. The final is rolling friction. The frictional force between two surfaces when one roll over the other is called rolling friction. That's all. Now we are see for the applications of friction. The first one is transportation. A rail adhesion refers to the grip wheels of the train have on the rails. See frictional content mechanics. The next application is measurement. That is how to measure the friction. A tripometer is an instrument that measures the friction on a surface. The friction is mainly used for household usage. It is used to heat and ignite mechanics in matchbox. That is, as the friction is placed between the head of a matchstick and rubbing surface of the matchbox. The next is laws of static friction. The applied force will be equal in the magnitude with the friction force. The second one is the ratio of the limiting friction force to the normal reaction force is called the coefficient of static friction. The final one is the force of the friction is depend on the roughness of the surface but independent on the area of content. Next we are see for the coefficient of friction. In the mechanical engineering, the force required to move two sliding surfaces over each other divided by the force holding them together. It is reduced when the motion has started. Here we see for the formula F is equal to mu into N, where Ff is equal to frictional force and mu is equal to static or kinetic or frictional coefficient, that is also called as a coefficient of friction. The final one N is called as the normal force between the surfaces. The next one is cone of friction. A cone in which the resultant force exerted by one flat horizontal surface on other must be located when both surfaces are at rest as determined by the coefficient of static friction. And under we are see here angle of friction. The angle between normal and resultant force is called normal friction. It simply explain it. It is also called limiting angle of friction. The value of theta is more for rough surfaces as compared to smooth surface. Then we are see here equilibrium of a body on a rough inclined plane acted upon by an external force. A body of weight is W. Its equilibrium on a rough inclined plane of angle alpha is greater than of lambda under the action of external force inclined upwards at the angle theta with the plane. Find the value of P for limiting equilibrium. It is our target. Let us consider a body. P is a magnitude of external force and theta is an angle. The force acting on the body are the weight of the body acting vertically down. The second one is the normal reaction acting perpendicular to the plane. The third one is the force of limiting friction nu acting upon the plane. And the fourth one is external force making at an angle theta with a line of greatest slope of the inclined plane. Resolving the forces parallel and perpendicular to the plane is P cos theta plus mu r is equal to W sin alpha, and the next is P sin theta plus R is equal to W cos alpha. By simplifying this equation, we can get the value of P, that P is equal to W sin alpha minus lambda, that's value divided by cos theta plus lambda. This is our final equation. Finally, I give the thank for you. Thank you very much.